25 years. Your home for Minnesota Twins baseball.
It is a beautiful night at the ballpark where the Twins are ready for a new challenge as they launch a 3-game series with the White Sox. Every day in May has been beautiful for Joe Mauer, cultivating an 11-game hitting streak, which has included a run-a-game average and 10 doubles. Dealing with Joe Mauer will be just one of the issues White Sox starter Hector Santiago will contend with tonight. As a starter, his numbers are impressive. This figures to be an important night as well for Pedro Hernandez, coming up the worst outing of his career. Twins lefty would love to perform well against the team that traded him last summer. Well, pitchers are having a very hard time figuring out Joe Mauer right now, but Ron Coomer may have figured him out.
Well, I figured out why they're having so many issues. When you look at Joe Mauer, he's a 3-time batting champ, but look at the zones that he hits in. This ball, the middle, crushes. This ball up. Right back through the box. Now you start moving the ball around. This ball to left center. When you start going down in the zone, that's when he starts really driving the baseball. To me, you look at these 5 zones, they're all around the plate. Joe Mauer has dominated. Now you know why he's a 3-time batting champion, Tom. He's just tough to pitch to. That's just the bottom line.
We all know Joe Mauer is better than average. Just how much better might surprise you. He feeds off curveballs. Great success with 2 strikes. At his best in the toughest situation, runners in scoring position with 2 outs. An amazing month of May for Joe Mauer. Up next, Dick and Bert break down the Southpaw Showdown tonight at Target Field. It's a series opener. The Twins and White Sox next, right here on Fox Sports North.
Visit NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. A year ago, the two starting pitchers tonight were in the White Sox organization. Hector Santiago and Pedro Hernandez were both in the minor leagues for the White Sox tonight. They square off against one another in the opening game of this three-game series. Gorgeous night at Target Field. Dick and Bert with you for game one between the Twins and the Chicago White Sox. Should be interesting to watch these two young left-handers go at it.
Yeah, both these guys looking for the future. And, you know, every start so important for these gentlemen. For the Twins, it'll be Pedro Hernandez. He's coming off two rocky starts, one in Cleveland and then one in Boston. A lot of run support, but he needs to have a good outing because there's a couple guys down in AAA that are biting at the bit to get up here and join the Minnesota Twins. For the Chicago White Sox, Gavin Floyd had the Tommy John surgery. They needed somebody to step up and take that spot in the rotation, and it's been Hector Santiago. This young man right here, 25 years old, has done very well, not only as a starter, but also as a reliever.
A couple of disappointing starts for Hernandez after an encouraging start. We'll see how he fares against a Chicago lineup that is really struggling to score runs. Game one in Minnesota, this historic rivalry, coming up in just a moment.
A Goliath. For every Hatfield, a McCoy. Every Torrey Hunter, a Jamie Burke.
Oh, my goodness! Burke gets flat!
Every Paul Konerko, a Justin Morneau.
3 tonight for Justin Morneau!
Every rivalry needs epic battles.
Fans down the line!
In order to finish first, somebody has to finish second. I hate second.
Line in the center!
Love your rivals because you need someone to beat.
The comeback is complete! And some rain showers this afternoon in downtown Minneapolis, but a spectacularly beautiful evening for baseball. As the Twins and White Sox get started in the first game in Minnesota between these two teams. Twins won a couple of games in Chicago back in April.
Yeah, remember one game, the first game was postponed because of cold weather, but the two were played Saturday and Sunday in April, and the Twins won both of those. Well, Joe Mauer playing his 50th game against the Chicago White Sox. Well, you know, those numbers shouldn't surprise you. A very good hitter against the White Sox. Twins and the White Sox face each other this year 19 times.
Those numbers accumulated since the 2010 season, and Mauer back behind the plate. And the White Sox struggling. They are 5 games below the 500 mark. They're having a terrible time hitting and scoring runs, drawing walks, all the things we've grown accustomed to them doing. They're not doing so far this year.
Yeah, you see Robin Ventura right there in his second season with the White Sox as their manager.
The Menard batting order for the White Sox and Robin Ventura. Alejandro De Aza leading off. Alexei Ramirez batting second. Alex Rios third. No Paul Konerko in the lineup. I can't think of another time in a Twins-White Sox game where I haven't written Konerko's name down, but he's not in there. Diane Viciedo, followed by Adam Dunn, Jeff Keppinger, Casper Wells, Tyler Flowers, and Tyler Green.
And 24-year-old left-hander Pedro Hernandez making his 5th start. We talked about the 2 previous ones. You have to just let those go, get it out of your mind. Making his first career start against his former club. Originally signed by the Padres, traded over to the White Sox. Made a major league debut for the Chicago White Sox last year. Of all places, Boston. Not a best place to make your major league debut.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Josh Willingham, Aaron Hicks, and Oswaldo Arcia, the outfielders. Trevor Plouffe, Pedro Florimon, Brian Dozier, Justin Morneau, Joe Mauer, with players like Hicks and Florimon missing some time over the weekend. Good to see them back on the lineup. Manny Gonzalez behind the plate. Jordan Baker at first. Dan Bellino at second. And Wally Bell at third. Gorgeous weather, 72 degrees. Some high cirrus clouds, no threat of precipitation. You know, just to clarify something I talked about in the open, as recently as last July, Hernandez and the Chicago starter tonight, Santiago, were teammates in Charlotte.
Right.
Both left-handed pitchers. The Twins were able to pull Hernandez out of the White Sox farm system in the Liriano trade, so they should know quite a bit about each other, and we'll see who comes out on top here in their first head-to-head meeting.
Well, the key for Hernandez, keep the ball down, utilize your defense. No walks, throw strikes down in the zone. He was up in that Boston game in Fenway Park.
De Aza, Ramirez, and Rios. And first pitch off the outside corner, ball 1.
See the home runs by De Aza. That's the most of any Chicago White Sox, and usually, you know, you'll see Dunn or Konerko leading the White Sox in home runs. But it's De Aza, the leadoff hitter, with 7 home runs. Excuse me, Alex Rios has 8. I'm sorry.
2-0 to De Aza. And a strike call.
There's Rios. White Sox mentioned in the pregame, last in team hitting only .227 in the American League. Last in runs scored.
And Hernandez working over that outside corner. He gets another call. It's 2-2. And now a full count. Disheartening start for Hernandez in Boston. Can't blame his teammates for lack of run support. They gave him 11 runs before he threw a pitch in the second inning, and he couldn't get beyond the second inning.
Well, they gave him a 4-run lead in the first, and then he coughed up 5, and then they scored 7 more in the second, and he did make it through the second, but that was it.
3-2 pitch, lined sharply to center, and it's a leadoff single for De Aza. Twins took 2 in Chicago, and the White Sox come to this ballpark in last place in their division. They're the only team in the division with a losing record. You can see the muscle in the middle of the lineup having a real tough time. Dunn showing signs of where he was 2 years ago. Chris Sale and Jake Peavy leading the pitching staff.
Yeah, their pitching staff been very solid. Second best in the American League in ERA, right behind the Texas Rangers staff.
Here's Alexei Ramirez, and a first pitch strike. Ramirez not knocking the cover off the ball, 262, but he is hitting .400 against left-handed pitchers. Missing the inside corner for Hernandez. Now 30 hits allowed in 22 2/3 innings. Came into the game with an opponent batting average of .315.
Yeah, it's right-handed hitters that have really given them problems. Right-handers hitting .414. Left-handed hitters hitting .147 coming into the ball game.
And a throw to first.
Chicago 19 stolen bases in 25 attempts. Piazza 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts. There's the splits between right-handers and left-handers. All home runs he's allowed, all 5 to right-handed hitters.
1-1. And a liner to left, and that'll die in front of Willingham. And the first inning starts with a pair of singles. And that'll bring up Rios with 2 on and nobody out.
I think what we've seen from Hernandez too, he's not really a ground ball pitcher. You'd like to try to get a ground ball here. Only one double play turned behind him so far. This is his 5th start.
Rios, for whatever reason, really struggling against left-handers, hitting just .217 against them. Blocked and scooped by Mauer, ball 1. Used to seeing Paul Konerko hitting 3rd for the White Sox. Dunn hitting 4th or flip-flop depending on a righty-lefty situation. Robin Ventura on the left, 2nd-year manager for the White Sox. Pounded foul. 1-1.
Yeah, Rios, 32 years old in his 5th season with the White Sox. 10th major league season, came up with the Blue Jays in 2004.
Florimon to the mound to have a chat with Hernandez.
That might be just giving a couple looks at Piazza. Piazza, again, pretty good speed at second base. Dozier trying to keep him close to the bag.
Off the outside corner, 2-1. Hernandez with a really good start against a really good Texas lineup. His last start here at Target Field in late April. 5 innings, 5 hits, no runs allowed. His first major league win.
Yeah, and his only start here. He did pitch a couple games in relief at Target Field.
Fouled back 2-2. But then since, 2 starts totaling 7 1/3 innings and 11 earned runs, 3 home runs, 5 walks, 15 hits. Catching the Indians at a time when that lineup was really clicking, and the Boston lineup at any time is capable of putting up some big numbers. See how he fares here tonight. So far, a challenge with runners at first and second and nobody out. Foul back and out of play.
I know one thing, Hernandez, if he has a long career at the major league level, he will never want to pitch in Fenway Park again. His major league debut came last year at Fenway Park. 4 innings, 8 runs allowed. He ended up getting a loss. And then his last start in it for the Twins, 6 runs allowed in 2 innings.
Twins won the ball game, but Ron Gardenhire said, I just couldn't leave him out there. It didn't look like he was going to find something to get the Red Sox batters out. 2-2. And now a full count. He's thrown 15 pitches, 8 strikes. Diane Viciedo
the designated hitter, on deck.
Good speed on the bases.
Drilled to left. Willingham won't get it. It'll one-hop the fence. A run will score. And it'll be a double for Rios. 3 loud hits to start the ball game here tonight.
Well, Rios picking up his 8th double of the year, driving in his 19th run. That breaking ball going right into the swing. Rios dropping the barrel of the bat, hitting it sharply to the right of Willingham. Willingham has to play it off the wall and to get it back in, and Diaz scores the first run of the ball game.
Morneau backing up now. Infield playing back. They'll concede another run. They want to get an out here with Viciedo at the plate. He takes ball 1. Twins have had a chronic problem with short starts.
Viciedo just activated off the disabled list. He was on a disabled list for about 20 days. Left oblique strain.
2-0. "18 pitches, 9 strikes for Hernandez, and 3 of the strikes have been hammered for hits." Fouled away over the Twins dugout. 2-1. Hernandez on the ropes here early. White Sox having picked up a win last night. Chris Sale throwing a 1-hit shutout.
Yeah, that against the Angels in Chicago.
2-1 to Viciedo. 3-1 with Dunn on deck.
Four batters, 3 3-ball counts already.
Three and 1.
Viciedo has a lot of power.
To center field. Chased by Hicks. On the track, he makes the catch. Rios trying to advance as well. It's a deep fly ball, making it 2-0. An out, and now Adam Dunn with a runner at third.
And you saw some of that power right there to one of the deepest parts of the field here at Target Field, right by the bullpen. Hicks has to go a long way to get this ball and lets both runners advance. Ramirez scores, and Rios gets in a scoring position at third base with 1 out. Viciedo picking up his 8th RBI.
Strikeout prone Adam Dunn will hit. Twins will bring the infield in. Dunn with 45 strikeouts and 117 at bats. Skies it down the left field line. And Plouffe comes up a couple steps short. It was just barely onto the warning track and not into the seating area. 1 strike. Not so sure that wouldn't. That was not that he could have made the play, but even if he could have, run scores, and then it's 3-0. Here you still have a chance of striking this guy out.
Well, you still want to catch that ball if you can. That ball just kept drifting away from him. There's no chance for Plouffe. He had to go a long way for that foul ball.
1 strike to Dunn. Check swing, I think. 1-1. Wally Bell, the third base ump.
You see last year 41 home runs hit by Dunn. So far 6 this year.
Fastball inside, 2-1.
It's always been Adam Dunn's game pretty much. You know, he'll strike out once every 3 at-bats. Led the National League in strikeouts many years when he was with the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh my. right past Keppinger, and a whistler right into the Chicago dugout, right through the stairway. Don Cooper, Herm Schneider, at least Cooper sitting next to the trainer. That was a dangerous one. And now 2-2 to Dunn. Hack foul behind Joe McEwing. 26 pitches, still only one out. A couple of runs on the board. Hernandez with 23 innings pitched and 11 strikeouts. He would love to get done here. Two down.
Oh, big slow curveball right there, and Adam Dunn goes down swinging.
This series between Chicago and Minnesota through the years has kind of gone in waves, where the Twins dominated for a while, then the White Sox, and now the Twins are hoping that the last couple will start another trend in Minnesota's favor.
Yeah, last year the White Sox won 14 of the 18 meetings between these two ball clubs. So far, Twins are 2-0.
Here's Keppinger. Down and away, ball one. Keppinger hitting under 200.
And a guy that does not draw a walk. He's a tough guy to walk.
He hasn't drawn any yet.
Yep, and 123 at-bats and only 13 strikeouts.
Well, Hernandez falls behind him 2-0. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning.
Keppinger in his first season with the White Sox. White Sox are his 7th different major league team to play for.
Pulled foul, 2-1.
Not a very good strike to ball ratio. Too many pitches here in the first.
White Sox as a team have drawn the fewest walks in the American League. Called strike, 2-2.
We talk about no walks for Keppinger, also no strikeouts. 180 times he has struck out in over 2,500 major league plate appearances. So a guy that definitely is up there swinging and usually makes contact, puts the ball in play somewhere.
Has struck out 13 times this year. 2-2 to Keppinger. Line foul. Rios at third. He doubled in a run. Viciedo with a fly ball to score a second run. And now 2-2 to Jeff Keppinger. Roller to short. Backhanded by Florimone. Fires on the run. Good play by Florimone.
Nice play.
Florimone had a bit of a hamstring strain. Makes a fine play in the hole to end an ugly first inning. inning. Ron Gardenhire, I'm sure, not happy with the way that first inning went for Pedro Hernandez. The Menard batting order for the Twins in the series opener: Brian Dozier, followed by Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Ryan Doumit, Trevor Plouffe, Oswaldo Arcia, Aaron Hicks, and Pedro Florimon.
Now, what you want your starter to do is set a tempo, and that was not a very good tempo in the first top of the inning. Hector Santiago, he has shown very good tempo in his career starts and relief appearances. Very good numbers, 1.69 ERA for Hernandez, making his third start.
And a first pitch strike to Brian Dozier.
Gavin Floyd ended up getting the Tommy John surgery. They needed somebody to go into his spot in a rotation, and it's Santiago.
Driven to right, short of the track. Rios with the catch, one away. Northland Ford defense for the White Sox. They've had some issues there too. 28 errors on the season in just 35 games. Casper Wells in left. Alejandro Diaza in center. Alex Rios in right. Keppinger, Ramirez, Green, Dunn. Tyler Flowers behind the plate. Diaza with 4 errors in center field. Ramirez 5 errors at short. It's just been a system-wide breakdown for the White Sox in the first 35 games. Here's Mauer. Strike called on the outside corner. 11-game hitting streak for Joe. Three hits in the ball game yesterday. The average up to 341. And a base hit to start his night's work here. Little flare to left, and Wells couldn't close in time, and Mauer and his batting average continue to climb up the charts.
Yeah, 12-game hitting streak now for Joe, and that's as high as he had last year, a 12-game hitting streak. A career-high 16-game hitting streak is the longest for Joe Mauer. But the breaking ball, and Joe just softly hits it in front of Casper Wells in left field.
Now here's Willingham trying to find something at the plate. Ball one. Willingham's batting average has had a slow leak for the last 3 weeks. One and 0. 2-0.
Saw that pitch right there. It's almost like a little screwball that Santiago will throw outer half of the plate to right-handed hitters. Take a look at a little movement away, almost like a sinking fastball. It kind of turns it over.
Taken for a strike, 2-1.
Change up right there, good location. Santiago making just his 7th major league start. His first major league start came against the Twins in September of last year in Chicago. Picked up his first major league win, beat the Twins 4-2.
A high pop-up left side of the infield. That was up there. And Ramirez with the catch, out number 2. Our lows never stop improvement. Quite an improvement for Justin Morneau over the last 2 weeks.
Well, this is something that Josh Willingham hopes, he can go through. Have a little bit of a, I hate to use the word slump, but we're just where they're not swinging a bat. But over the last couple weeks, Justin Morneau has really picked it up, driving in a lot of runs, 15 runs over the last 15 games.
And a fastball caught the corner. Signs of improvement for Morneau, who's hitting left-handers at a 270 clip this year. Pulled through the hole to right. Mauer will stop at second base. So a pair of singles, Mauer and Morneau connecting here for singles, and we'll see what Doumit can get done with 2 out.
Yeah, the M&M boys have been red hot. They just need guys around them to help out with the offense. You see, combined in the month of May, the M&M boys hitting combined .395. They scored 18 runs. They've driven in 18 runs. Ryan Doumit has been swinging a better bat as of late, so hopefully he can pick up an RBI here.
Doumit, the designated hitter. Breaking ball sweeps over. Strike one.
Doumit, a switch hitter, is a right-handed hitter, hitting .273. One of his 3 home runs coming from the right side of the plate. Coming in that Baltimore series.
High fastball got him, and you can see that fastball got up to 93 miles per hour. 2 quick strikes to Ryan Doumit. Trying to go upstairs with a fastball again. This time Doumit got a piece of it. Willingham hoping that this is the series where he will snap out of the slump. Didn't happen in his first at bat. Another 2-strike pitch to Ryan Doumit. Long stare down, and Doumit says, "I've had enough." Now Santiago's ready. 1-2.
Mentioned Santiago making his 7th major league start. As a starter, he is 3-0 with an ERA of 1.42. Well, he's been kind of a diamond in the rough for the Chicago White Sox. Mainly minor league numbers, mainly a reliever.
Same pitch, about 1.5 feet outside. 2-2. To Doumit. High fastball got him. So the Twins get a couple of singles, a hit short of scoring a run, and they trail 2-0.
Well, for Pedro Hernandez, this start couldn't come soon enough. He's coming off an outing he would very much like to forget. A 2-inning start with 6 earned runs in Boston. And Ron Gardenhire tells me Pedro's been chomping at the bit to get out there, and he has to have a short memory. Of course, Hernandez is going up against his former team, Dick and Bert, as you mentioned. Gardy also hopes he doesn't put any more pressure on himself because of that. He says he needs to control his emotions, use all his pitches, and he should be fine.
Well, thank you, Jamie. He'll face Casper Wells to start the second inning with the White Sox up 2-0. Down low, ball 1.
Casper Wells has had an interesting 2013 season already. He went to spring training with the Mariners. Then he was selected off waivers by Toronto from Seattle. And then he was purchased by Oakland from Toronto. And then he was also purchased from the White Sox from the Oakland organization. So he's been with 4 different organizations since spring training.
Pulled to third. Nice stop at third by Plouffe. And throws him out. A 2-hop smash. Plouffe was able to snag it and throw him out. He made a play similar to that in the ball game yesterday.
Yeah, that ball hit sharply, and Plouffe reaching out at the last second. See him backpedaling, and then right off the end of the glove, Plouffe makes a good throw right here. Almost a snow cone right there. Plouffe gets up and fires a P across the diamond for an out.
So 1 down. Tyler Flowers, the batter. Foul back, out of play. Flowers, the regular catcher now for the White Sox since A.J. Pierzynski's moved on to Texas. On the disabled list right now, but the regular Texas catcher. And that one, Plouffe can't flag down. Willingham plays the carom, and Flowers will be held to a hard single.
Good job by Willingham getting over there very quickly. The ball hit very sharply down that third baseline. And Flowers, being a catcher, not the best of speed, but Willingham playing the carom perfectly and getting it back in. 4th hit for the White Sox. Like a breaking ball, and Flowers getting out front, hitting it right down that third baseline. See how quick that ball got to that wall and to Willingham.
Gordon Beckham's on the disabled list, so Tyler Green gets a chance to play at second base. Chopper to short. 1, 2. Nice dig at first by Morneau. Some well-hit balls in the second inning, but the bottom line, Hernandez faces just 3 men in the inning. Vote for who you think is the Arby's value player of the game. Text value, a space, and the player's name to 234-234. You can let us know who you think had the most value in today's game, and we'll tell you the winner in the postgame show. A couple of early runs for the White Sox. Trevor Plouffe will face Hector Santiago, and then Oswaldo Arcia and Aaron Hicks. Hitless against the White Sox, but Plouffe among the league leaders in batting average against left-handers, hitting .409 against lefties. Ball one. And a strike, 1-1. And now 2-1. Twins with a couple of singles in the first inning. Plouffe hoping to get aboard to start the second. 3-1. Arcia on deck.
Santiago coming into this ballgame now, a lot of relief appearances, 7 relief appearances, 7 walks in 27 innings pitched.
3-1 pitch lifted foul and out of play.
Paul Konerko getting a night off.
A mental health day, I think, is what he's getting tonight.
Gordon Beckham right there on the disabled list.
Plouffe lifts it foul on the right field line and out of play. And his teammate in our Sanford Health injury report, Gavin Floyd, been transferred to the 60-day disabled list.
The Tommy John surgery, and his season is done. Struggled at the beginning.
Another one popped up back and out of play. John Danks is on a rehab assignment. They say he's going to have one more start before he'll be considered for a promotion to the big league club. Those were kind of the mainstays of the Chicago rotation, with Peavy added, Sale added, foul back, Plouffe fouling another one back. There's Don Cooper, the former Twin and highly regarded pitching coach for the White Sox. '25th pitch for Santiago, and Plouffe wastes another one.
Nice little 9-pitch at bat so far for Trevor Plouffe against Hector Santiago.
Another 3-2. Changeup, got him. 1 away.
Santiago wins the battle on the 10th pitch and picks up his second strikeout. Pull the string. Good location here of that changeup.
Oswaldo Arcia will hit. Arcia with 19 at bats against lefties, hitting .316. 6 hits, just 1 extra base hit, a double. Ball one. It's doinked down the left field line. Chased by Wells. He won't get there. It's 3 feet foul. When you join the Twins season ticket family this year, you'll be hitting the sweet spot. Purchase any of the Twins season ticket packages and receive 10% off food, beverage, and merchandise bought at Target Field. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Check out the options, learn about the cool benefits that come along with Twins season tickets. 1-1 to Arcia. Arcia getting the start in right field in place of Chris Parmelee. Arcia hitting lefties about 100 points better than Parmelee. 2-1. And another one fouled away over the Chicago dugout.
Fought off a nasty pitch right there. Ball came running in on him. That's what good hitters do. You see Joe Mauer doing it. You know, pitcher make a good pitch, they foul it off. Hope a pitcher will make a mistake.
Ooh, got him. Another changeup, it looked like, on the outside corner. Taken. for a strike, and that's 3 straight strikeouts for Hector Santiago.
Yeah, Santiago's coming off a shutout performance, 7 innings in his last start against the New York Mets. Good pitch right there. Arcia takes it for the 3rd strikeout for Santiago.
And now Aaron Hicks got a couple of days off with a hyperextended elbow. Up and away, ball 1. "14 hits in 14 different games for Aaron Hicks. One and one. Boy, you have to like Santiago's tempo out there. Working quickly. Not throwing as many strikes as he would like. He's fallen behind a couple of batters here.
You know, they have 2 main guys, Chris Sale, who pitched the 1-hit shutout last night, and also Jake Peavy, a veteran. And they have a good tempo about them, too, so that kind of rubs off on everybody else.
Hicks swings through a fastball, 2-2.
I think when you have a quick tempo like that, it just makes you look more aggressive out there. Get the ball ready to throw. Of course, you're going to have better defense behind you, and that's one thing that Ventura hopes that happens behind his pitching staff is better defense.
Lifted to short right, and coming in is Rios. And a 1-2-3 second inning for Hector Santiago, and a 2-0 White Sox lead. Link, your link to what's next. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. 2-0 Chicago, the WPT Doyle Brunson 5-Diamond Poker Classic may need to be renamed. How about half as many words in the title? That would be my suggestion. At the final table for the 3rd year in a row, the question is, can the magician make all of his opponent's chips disappear? Tune into Sunday's episode of the World Poker Tour, presented by ClubWPT.com to find out. You have any idea what that meant?
I guess there's somebody that has card tricks. Maybe Michael Kadire is that.
It could be. He's on the disabled list now. He's got a neck issue for the Rockies. 1 strike to Alejandro De Aza. And strike 2. Maybe Hernandez has awakened from a first inning struggle or slumber, throwing more strikes now.
Again, you want to get a starting pitcher. You want to get him early before he settles in. And Hernandez picking up the tempo a little bit. Piazza led off the game for the White Sox with a base hit. later scored.
1-2. Breaking ball, bounced foul. Doubleheader this afternoon in Cleveland and a couple of shutouts. Justin Masterson and the Indians won the first game 1-0. And then the Yankees came back in the nightcap and beat Cleveland 7-0. 1-2 to Chicago's center fielder. And a strikeout for Hernandez.
Good
His second
ball.
strikeout.
Good location right there. Good breaking ball down. And Diaz swings through it.
Now Alexei Ramirez singled to left. Scored on Viciedo's fly ball. Plouffe to his left, catches a line drive, out number 2. Well, Hernandez not fooling too many people here in the early innings. Here's our Pepsi fans of the game, hoping the Twins can come back from an early 2-0 hole.
Yep, they're hoping, and so are we.
Alex Rios doubled to left field his first time up. Got as far as third base. And a strike on the outside corner.
Hernandez picking up the tempo, also attacking the strike zone a lot better than he did in the first inning. 33 pitches, only 6 in the second inning to get 3 outs.
Strike 2.
Another good pitch.
And the strikes are on the corners of the strike zone rather than right down the middle.
Little pinky fastball away.
Up and away. 1-2.
Go back out there again.
Off the plate, 2-2. Missing again. And it's a full count with Viciedo on deck. Fouled back. Last year the White Sox hung in there. They were a factor in the race, largely because Rios and Dunn rebounded from terrible years in 2011. Now Rios is having a decent year. Dunn is, if anything, taking a step back to 2011. Konerko slumping. Drilled. Foul. I don't know that Hernandez has a pitch that can get Rios out in the inner half of the plate.
You don't want to make a mistake middle in either. He's pretty quick inside. That's why Joe Mauer was trying to get that fastball down and away.
Another 3-2 from Hernandez. On one hop to Florimon. And another 1-2-3 inning, or shall I say another inning where Hernandez faces just 3 men. From their big lefty.
Yeah, only one hit allowed, no walks, 7 strikeouts. He threw 98 pitches for that complete game victory over the Angels.
And Robin Ventura knows he's got a true number 1 with Chris Sale, and he's got another number 1 with Jake Peavy, and that's one of the reasons why it's frustrating for the White Sox to be where they are. They've got some frontline starting pitching, but lineup hasn't clicked yet. 1 strike to Florimon, and now outside 1-1. Florimon, Dozier, and Mauer trying to get on the scoreboard here against Santiago. 2-1. Three strikeouts for Santiago. The Twins want to put the ball in play as much as they can in this series to see if the White Sox kick it around a little bit. 3-1. Seven walks in 28 2/3 innings. That's hammered down the line. Florimon will dig for an extra base. And he's got a leadoff double.
Well, he tweaked that right hamstring a little bit in Boston, and then he did not play in that Baltimore series. The Twins wanted to make sure that hammy was feeling good. I talked to him before the ballgame. He said he's fine. And good indication right here. 3-1 pitch right down that left field line. And Florimon getting out of the box nicely and then hustling all the way to second base. So Florimon picking up a double, his 4th of the year. Twins get their 3rd hit.
Now Brian Dozier hit a fly ball to right his first time up. And a strike taken.
Like to get Florimon over to third base. Nobody out. Mauer on deck.
Ooh. Behind Mauer. He's got the ball boy there. Glancing blow, I think.
You can kind of tell by that swing by Dozier. That's exactly what he was trying to do. Hit it to the right side of the diamond.
2 strikes. Pulled through the hole, a base hit. Florimon to third. He'll be held there. The Dozier looked like he got a hanging off speed pitch and hooked it through the hole, first and third. Nobody out for Joe Mauer, who's already extended his hitting streak tonight.
Yeah, Joe with that base hit. Now on a 12-game hitting streak where he is hitting, oh, by the way, .457.
Hits all over the place. Second torrid streak that Joe's been on in this season.
Yeah, he came into this game 3rd in the American League in hitting.
Mauer flared a single to left his first time up. And he takes strike 1. Had a lot of fun with Joe, or made some commentary about Joe and his bat starting in Boston. That bat with all the pine tar on it just looks like a bat that he's used for a while. 1 strike and a foul back. I asked Joe today because I wanted to find out about that bat. He says actually he's got 2 gamers right now, 2 bats that he uses in games. He says he hasn't cracked a bat since Baltimore. Not the Orioles series here. The series in Baltimore over 5 weeks ago. So that bat and the other gamer he's used have picked up an awful lot of hits. 1 and 2.
Well, if you crack a bat, where does it go? To the Twins Pro Shop?
I suppose, yeah.
So there's not too many Joe Mauer broken bats.
Not this year.
No.
And then ironically, Joe said, you may remember at Baltimore, he had like 3 bats broken in one game and hasn't broken one since. 1-2 to a guy hitting .326 this year with 2 strikes. .326. One and two. And did that hit the bat or did that hit Mauer?
I believe foul ball.
Yep. Check swing right around the handle of the bat. That's how you keep a bat for 5 weeks too. You check the swing instead of swing at it. They might have hit the knob of the bat.
I don't think a ball ever hit the knob of Joe's bat. It's always a barrel of a bat.
Look at that. 29 hits this year with 2 strikes. Going to get a big one here as the Twins are trying to come back from an early 2-0 deficit. Runner goes. And a base stolen by Dozier, and now there are 2 men in scoring position.
Yeah, Dozier got a good jump right there. Steals his 3rd base of the year. So taking off on first, movement right there. The high leg kick. Flowers throw short hops. Green. Green able to keep it in his glove. Florimon stays at 3rd.
Hit to the outfield could tie the game. 2-2 to Mauer. 3-2.
You know, he's one hitter, and all great hitters, they're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. And Joe Mauer, look at the hit zone right there. As a pitcher, too, you know that, and you're trying to make that perfect pitch. All of a sudden, you're 3-2. Because you're trying to make that out pitch.
And outside, he ends up drawing a walk, and that loads him up for Willingham.
And the plus side for Joe Mauer also, such a good eye at the plate. Taking that pitch right there for ball 4 to load the bases.
Not by much.
No. But umpires know that, too. There are certain hitters that get their reputation. Hey, what did say Ted Williams one time? He took a pitch, they questioned him, and he said, hey, if Ted didn't swing at it,
it wasn't a strike.
It wasn't a strike.
All right, big spot here for Willingham as he tries to break out of a Mays slump. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Yeah, the changeup, that little screwball down and away.
We've talked about Pedro Hernandez, who also has that pitch, but he doesn't have the command of it. Consequently, he doesn't throw it as much as Santiago does. 1-1.
They came back with it again, a miss low. Just a matter of time before Josh breaks out of this little mini slump he's in. Ducks on the pond for Willingham.
One and one. Fastball on the inside corner. 1-2.
First 2 pitches outer half of the plate. This one a fastball that rides inner half of the plate.
Two and two. Popped up right field. Rios has got a good arm, and he's running in to make a catch in short right center field. No chance. Now the ball kicks away from Flowers. One away.
Well, you can't anticipate that as a runner. Florimon went in about maybe 20 steps and then went back to third because where Rios caught that ball to throw on the one hops. Flowers got by him, but no chance for Florimon to score. That's what Willingham's doing. You saw that swing right there. Just get underneath it, create that little pop-up rather than getting a good part of the barrel of the bat on it.
Here's Morneau. Been a good hitting streak for Morneau, now covering 9 games. His batting average has kicked up 55 points.
Outstanding numbers with the bases loaded.
Ball 1. Morneau with a single to right in the first inning. Swing and a miss. And Santiago touched 94 miles per hour with that.
Pumped up a little bit. You start looking for that changeup, which was the first pitch. Then he throws that fastball past Justin.
One and one. Fouled back at 96.
Trying to find that little extra.
I thought he found a little extra at 94. So now 1 and 2, and Morneau's conscious of this suddenly mid-90s fastball this guy has thrown. And a breaking pitch at 79, tapped foul.
A lot of RBIs in the month of May for Justin. He can add on to that total right here in this at-bat.
Another 1-2. Fouled back. Back up into the mid-90s with his fastball.
You see the different speed and the velocity. Start off with 84, 94, 96, 79, 95.
Tapped foul. Back down with a breaking pitch.
That's that changeup right there.
Low 80s.
Yep.
It's a tough pitch. Sometimes pitchers are reluctant to throw it to, in this case, a left-handed pitcher to a left-handed batter.
Frank Viola was the best at that.
Another 1-2. Popped straight up, back, and out of play. Morneau lucky to have the at-bat alive. Looked like he was fooled on that pitch.
Well, he got enough of it just to foul it off behind home plate.
Santiago's pitch count being elevated now to 63 pitches.
27 pitches so far here in the third inning.
Again at 1 and 2. Checked his swing 2 and 2.
Wally Bell says no.
Ooh, close.
Strong as he is, it's amazing hitters like that can check their swing like that.
2 and 2. 3 and 2. With the bases loaded.
65 pitches, 29 so far this inning.
Might see here how much confidence this man has in that changeup. Full count. Busted bat. And Ramirez can't pick the ball up. And a run will score.
Well, that's been the biggest problem for Chicago. An easy, might have been a double play ball. Instead, it becomes an error by Ramirez, and the Twins score a run. Well, Justin, great at bat. Let's do the pitch by pitch. The 84-mile-an-hour pitch missing, and then he pumped up in the 90s, mid-90s, 96 right there. And he goes back in with a breaking ball, and then another fastball. Justin fouled off, another off-speed pitch. Got the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Justin hitting a ball here up the middle.
Doma with a deep fly to center. De Aza back. All three runners will advance, and the game is tied. Dozier tagging from third, and De Aza throwing to the shortstop instead of the second base bag, and that allowed Morneau to advance to second.
An RBI for Ryan Doumit, picking up his 16th run. The Twins tie the game at 2 apiece.
So an error and then a mental mistake by De Aza, and the Twins hope to capitalize on both. Hit to the outfield by Plouffe here could make it a 4-run inning. Plouffe had a long battle with Santiago before swinging and missing on a changeup and striking out. Outside, ball 1. Two and 0. Plouffe was ahead on the count throughout his second inning at bat, and then finally fouled off some 2-strike pitches before waving at the changeup. Dangerous pitch here to Trevor Plouffe. 3-0. Arcia on deck. Driven to the gap. This ball is scalded. It'll score 2. Plouffe has a double, and the Twins have the lead. Hardest hit ball of the night, and Trevor Plouffe tattooed it.
All right, he got the count in his favor. Santiago just laid a fastball right down the middle of the plate. And Plouffe did not miss it. A line drive all the way, rolls all the way to the fence by the bullpen. Auer scores, Morneau scores. And the Twins put up a 4 so far here this inning.
And capitalize on the Chicago mistakes. The error to Ramirez, De Aza throwing to the wrong base. And a quick trip to the mound by Don Cooper. You know, whenever Terry Ryan or Ron Gardenhire were interviewed during the offseason through spring training and even into the regular season, they said we need to pitch better, but we need to catch the ball better. As they look back on a disappointing year last year, they realize they did not do a good job defensively. And it goes beyond the error total. It's just decisions made in the field, too. And here we've seen precisely why the White Sox have struggled so much this year. Arcia. Strike on the outside corner.
And what an error does, it makes that pitcher have to throw maybe, another 10 pitches to try to get out of the inning. Maybe more.
And Santiago says, I'll take care of this myself, thank you. Good inning for the Twins. It started with a double, and they take a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, the White Sox scored a couple runs in that first inning, an RBI double by Alex Rios, and then a sacrifice fly by Viciedo gave the White Sox a 2-0 lead, but the Twins ended up scoring 4 runs in the third inning on 3 hits. The biggest hit, the 2-run double by Trevor Plouffe. 4 runs, only 1 earned against Santiago, but the Twins don't care if they're earned or unearned. They're up by a couple.
Scoring 4 runs on a muffed ground ball and an outfielder throwing to the wrong base. 2 things you'll never see happen at the Twins fantasy camp. Right? Strike 1 to Diane Viciedo. We have Stan Dickman, the director of the 2013 and 14 and so on and so forth Twins fantasy camp. He's here to talk about the 2014 fantasy camp. And Stan, we're moving a little bit closer to the front of January every year with this, aren't we?
Well, yeah, that's kind of the way the calendar works. As you know, we're really at the mercy of the Twins Caravan and Twins Fest, but it certainly hasn't affected our attendance, Dick. I was telling both of you before the game today, we've just been really blown away by the response this year. We're going to expand the camp to 10 teams this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right now, you told us you have 128. You're going to stop it at 140.
That's right.
And that is when? When is camp going to be this year?
Camp's going to be held from Saturday, January 4th through Saturday night, January 11th. It's 8 nights, 7 days of baseball in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida, hometown of Bert Blyleven.
Fouled back by Viciedo. And Stan, I know one of the great things for first-time campers and the veterans, too. I've been coming down for a number of years, but just to hang out with some great former Twins. Bert is, what is exactly your capacity?
I'm the camp coordinator.
Camp coordinator.
And the Kangaroo Court judge.
You can't coordinate.
That's the big deal right there. But he is actually our camp commissioner.
Is that my title?
That is your title.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, there's a strikeout right there.
I was going to say you can't coordinate a pair of socks and you got him running your whole camp. But here's some details about the camp. But tell us about the former Twin lineup that you've assembled for this next year's camp.
Well, we've got, I think, if you look at other Major League Baseball teams and you look at the legends that they're able to attract to the camp, the Twins camp takes second place to nobody. We've got, of course, Bert, Tony Oliva, Ken Herbeck, Tom Bernansky, Rick Aguilera,
Sky
Timmy
to
Laudner.
left field, and Willingham in the twilight is able to track it and catch it in foul ground. Continue.
Gene Larkin, Juan Berenguer, Bill Suit Campbell, Julio Becerra, Frankie Quillisi, Dick Stigman, Lee Stang, Ron Coomer. We just have an
Tim
incredible
Laudner.
group.
I don't know if you said him already.
Yep, I did get Timmy in there, but we're going to, with 10 teams, we'll be expanding, and I'm not at liberty today to say who they are, but we've got a whole host of exciting new pro staff people we're talking to, trying to get things worked out, but it's promising to be our best and I think most exciting camp ever.
2 kickouts here in the fourth, and now Keppinger takes ball 1.
Now, again, Stan, how many games will, say, a camper play in that week?
They'll play a minimum of 9 games, Bert. It's a lot of baseball. And that's one of the questions we get many times from some of our more senior campers, more veteran campers. How much baseball is there? And I'm approaching 60 this summer, so it's a question I'd have if I were going to be coming. Yeah, I'm feeling it every morning, but
I don't feel it. I'm 62.
Bouncer to second. Again, the dates for the camp: January 4th through January 11th.
Yep. Thank you much, guys.
All right. Stan Dickman, the director of the Twins Fantasy Camp. Of some shoddy play in the field to score 4 times. Hector Santiago gave up a leadoff double. Never seemed to really be able to recover from that, but his teammates didn't exactly help him in the field either.
No, I mean, to pitch a good game at the major league level or any level, you need good defense, but a lot of pitches thrown. 37 pitches in that 3rd inning for Hector Santiago.
1-0 to Aaron Hicks. Hicks with a fly ball to right his first time up. A turn on an inside fastball, a foul ball, 1-1.
Mentioned Santiago, he pitched his last start against the Mets in New York. That was that game that Harvey for the Mets pitched the 9-inning, 1-hit, 12 strikeout performance, and the Mets ended up winning in 10 innings.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Santiago pitched 7 shutout innings against Harvey in that game.
Hicks trying to get aboard to start the 4th inning. Driven to deep center field. Diaza going back. That ball's gone. A home run. Aaron Hicks to straightaway center field. And it's 5-2.
Wanted a crowd on its feet. Aaron Hicks hits his 2nd major league home run, his first here at Target Field, and it's a blast. A fastball to straightaway center.
Look how short that swing is. And very powerful, obviously. Here's Florimone taking a strike. Florimone bounced a double down the left field line.
Good for Aaron Hicks.
1-1. Pounded foul. Hicks has a good son, taking the baseball from his first home run, sending it to his father. Second one, he'll keep himself.
Yeah, his other home run, his first home run, coming on Saturday in Cleveland against Scott Kazmir, a solo home run.
Skipped to the catcher Flowers, 2-2.
Both of them as a right-handed hitter.
This has to feel good for Hicks. Came on a 1-2 count. He was facing maybe another strikeout. Not only made contact, but drove it to the deepest part of the park. Pulled foul. You know, when Arcia hit his 3rd home run in Boston, when they went out to center field, and I'm probably reading something into a scene that I saw that didn't exist, but I saw Arcia showing Hicks holding up 3 fingers. There's a bouncer to 3rd. Keppinger sets and fires. And the caption could have said, or could have meant, I got 3 home runs now. How many you got? Well, now Hicks can come back to the dugout and sit next to his teammate last year at Double-A and say, all right, I'm 1 behind you now. 1 down. And that'll bring up Dozier. Dozier with a fly ball to right, and then he was down 2 strikes to Santiago, and he hooked a single to left. Fouled back, 1 strike.
Yeah, remember that was for Florimone at second base. It looked like the first 2 at-bats, or first 2 pitches, he tried to shoot it to right field, or that to right side of the field, advanced Florimone. But with 2 strikes, you pretty much have to try to do what you can with the baseball, and there's a changeup, and he found that hole between 3rd and short for a base hit.
This bunt attempt, 2 strikes. And now 1-2.
85 pitches for Santiago, 55 strikes. 1 walk, 3 strikeouts.
Punched in the air toward Ramirez. 2 down. Celebrate with the Twins the 20th anniversary of The Sandlot with a special screening on the Target Field scoreboard Sunday after the Twins game. Special guests include the director and narrator David Mickey Evans, plus Squints and Ham from the cast. Get your tickets, go to the game, stay for the Sandlot screening, and if you can't make it to the game, watch it all from home Sunday on Fox Sports North. 2 down now, and here's Bauer. Fastball, strike 1. And another one, strike 2.
Well, Joe's got him right where he wants him.
I mean, when you're hitting 326 with 2 strikes, you just go up there and close your eyes until you hear the second strike. And a high fastball gets him. A home run for Aaron Hicks, and it takes a 4-2 lead, turns it into a 5-2 lead.
Over the White Sox. I'm Jamie Hirsch inside the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle with a birthday girl, Linda, celebrating her 50th birthday today with her 2 kids and her husband. How many years do you think you've been coming to Twins baseball games?
Many years, probably 20 years.
And still loving every minute of it, right?
Love it. Couldn't think of a better way to spend my birthday.
Well, I can think of one better way. How about if you win something from the Minnesota Lottery? We're going to give you $100 worth of Minnesota Lottery scratch-off tickets. So thank you for being here tonight. You can go ahead and hang on to those.
Thank you very much. Awesome.
Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you.
Dick and Bert.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you, young lady, and 329 more days until my next birthday. Yeehaw!
Let the celebration begin.
It does every day.
Casper Wells will lead off the second inning for Chicago, and now Hernandez has a 3-run lead. Ball 1. We had a guest, Stan Dickman, with us for the 4th inning. We didn't really get a chance to talk about Hernandez now being given a lead. And that was the issue in Boston. The Twins seemingly couldn't give him a big enough lead. That's why he was taken out after 2 innings. Fell behind 2-0. Now the Twins gave him a 4-2, now a 5-2 lead. And how he handles this lead is going to be very closely watched.
Well, last inning, very important, a 1-2-3 inning for Hernandez with that 2-run lead. Now he has a 3-run lead, falls behind here on Casper Wells.
Hasn't walked anybody, gave up 4 early hits. 3-0 to Wells with Tyler Flowers on deck. And there's a strike.
Wells coming over as a Chicago White Sox, now just 1 hit in 15 at-bats with the White Sox.
Fly ball, right center field. Garcia calling for it, makes the catch. 1 away. Some warm days ahead for this homestand here in Twins territory. They're talking 90 degrees by game time tomorrow. And you can be one of the first 10,000 fans through the gates and pick up your Twins picnic blanket. Presented by Delta Airlines. When it was cold out, we called it a fleece blanket, but now we're calling it a picnic blanket. Get your tickets for this game, many others. Visit twinsbaseball.com or call 800-33-TWINS. I like that. That's good marketing. 2-hop skipper to Dozier. Since Rios' RBI double in the first inning, Hernandez has faced the minimum number of batters.
He's only given up 1 hit, and that was Tyler Flowers in the second inning. Then he got the double play ball, so he's retired the last 9 straight Chicago White batters.
Here's Green.
And doing a lot better job of pitches per inning. 33 in the first, 6 in the second, 14 in the third, only 10 in the fourth. And 1 good pitch away from having a quick inning here in the 5th. He's thrown only 5 pitches this inning. 6 pitches.
Strike 1. For a guy who looked like he might have another 2-inning start tonight, Hernandez has A, saved the bullpen to this point, and B, put up enough zeros to allow the Twins to score a few runs, and completes this inning. He could qualify for another win.
Well, there are the numbers right there. Too many pitches in the first, but he's done a great job since.
Poked foul, and it's 1-2.
Tyler Green in his first season with the White Sox. Last year with the Cardinals and the Astros.
Whoa, came inside and got a swinging strikeout. Another 1-2-3 inning. 10 in a row set down by Pedro Hernandez. Pedro Hernandez has recovered after a rocky start. Twins lead by 3. Josh Willingham leading off the 5th against Hector Santiago. Strike 1. This is when Willingham will get a hit. A little less pressure on. He came up with a man on in the first inning. Came up with the bases loaded in the third. Hopefully a more relaxed Willingham will get a base hit here. Right off the end of the bat. And Ramirez throws him out.
Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
Justin Morneau with a single, and then he hit the pivotal ground ball in the third inning. It looked like it was going to end the third inning without the Twins scoring a run at all.
You know, when Justin was struggling a little bit, I remember about 2-3 weeks ago, Dick, you said that what Harmon Killebrew told Justin, just keep swinging. And the same for Josh Willingham.
Flowers drops it. Had a play on it. And it hit the outside of his glove and then went into the Twins dugout.
Well, again, these are the little things that the White Sox have not been doing a very good job of. Flowers getting over. He's got to get over to that railing. He reaches out. And then the ball ricochets off his glove.
Well, Ramirez with the muffed ground ball. Could have been a double play to end the inning. Piazza threw to the wrong base that led to an insurance run, and now Morneau way out in front, 2 strikes. But yeah, that was Harmon's advice to everybody. Keep swinging. You're not going to get out of a slump by taking pitches.
Right. And what I've seen from Willingham is he's missing by a half an inch as far as making good contact. He's popped up, I think, the last couple of days. When he's played, he's hit some high fly balls, but they're on the infield side. Just missing. Keep swinging.
And Morneau fouls it back. But within that, Ted Williams' advice: get a good pitch to hit. Somewhere's in your at bat, make sure you get a good pitch to hit. Don't swing it, chest high fastballs or pitches in the dirt.
Right. I personally liked it when they did that. Swung at the ones in the dirt like that.
And Morneau is retired at first base. 2 away.
And strikeout number 5 for Santiago.
Doman will hit. Twins offense has been heating up. Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau leading the way. Read Tyler Mason's story on the 2 former MVPs impressing at the plate at FoxSportsNorth.com. Doman tied the game with a sacrifice fly. The first pitch he saw in the third, struck out swinging in the first. Change up on the outside corner. He dropped down sidearm. And Doman was waiting for it. Spanked it to left for a 2-out single. I haven't seen Santiago, I don't think, drop down that low for a pitch.
Well, again, the location right there. Hitters want to pick up that ball as quick as they can. But take a look at the location right there, about thigh high. And Doman making very good contact, getting his first hit. And for the Twins, they're 7th.
Here's Plouffe, who continues to punish left-hand pitching. A ringing 2-run double his last time up. Now he lifts it foul into the seats over the Twins dugout.
Well, he worked the count in his favor, and Hernandez came in with a fastball right there, 3-0 fastball, and Plouffe didn't miss it.
100 pitches for Santiago. No activity in the Chicago bullpen. Down and in, 1-1. Plouffe worked the count in the first at bat, but Santiago ended up striking him out on a changeup. Ground ball to second. And an easy play for Green. That ends the inning. On to the 6th. The Twins in front 5-2. the subject of our freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Yeah, Plouffe making a very nice play this here in the second inning off the bat of Casper Wells. Then the line drive he caught off the bat of Ramirez. And then Florimon, a nice play in that end of first inning off the bat of Keppinger.
That kept the score 2-0 rather than allowing it to get to 3-0. And then Plouffe made a nice play on Wells, and that, in essence, is the difference in this game. The Twins have made some plays in the field. The White Sox have not. By the way, no error charged to Tyler Flowers on the drop pop-up near the Twins dugout, and no play. Pedro Hernandez needed 33 pitches to get through the first inning, 39 pitches to get through the next 4 innings. And there's strike one. De Aza, Ramirez, and Rios here in the 6th. And the dirt blocked by Mauer.
Not a bad ratio, getting better than that first inning when he was, struggling a little bit. 75 pitches. 4 strikeouts, no walks for Hernandez.
Well, let's be fair about this. The Twins have had back-to-back left-handed starters, and Hernandez has succeeded in doing what Scott Diamond could not do yesterday. Diamond started off erratic with his control and was never able to find it, and Hernandez looks like he found something after that second inning.
Want to try to make the adjustment as quick as you can, and it looked like Hernandez did that.
2-2 to De Aza.
First major league win against the Rangers here back on April 27th. He went 5 innings, the longest outing he's had as a starter, 5 1/3 innings. Came 2 starts ago. Try to get through 6 here.
Slow breaking ball out of Dozier's reach. We haven't seen too many get beyond his reach, and it's a leadoff single in the 6th for Alejandro De Aza. Mentioned Chris Sale's great outing last night. The 4th pitcher to give up 1 hit, and that 1 hit keeping them from a perfect game.
Hey, maybe pitchers are coming back, coming strong.
Our CarSoup.com question for you, Bert Blyleven. Kirk and Savage wondering, do you think baseball's returning to a period that features dominant pitching?
Well, there's some young, talented kids coming up. Harvey, Sale, Miller, and there's, post-steroid maybe era. I think we saw it a little bit last year at times. Pitching dominated the game. Don't have the home runs that they did, 5-6 years ago.
Well, Steven Strasburg's 1-5, but he figures to have a great long career for the Nationals or whoever he pitches for. And Ramirez with a big swing and a foul, 1 strike. One strike to Ramirez, who singled and lined out. He's had some good looks at Pedro Hernandez tonight. Great jump, and the pitch flared foul. Twins got a break there. Ramirez fouled it off. De Aza took off with Hernandez bringing up that right leg with a big leg kick.
Yeah, he had almost the same jump that Dozier had against Santiago in the 3rd inning. Josh Renicky starting to loosen up. I'd like to say happy 30th wedding anniversary to Clyde Deppner. Clyde is the team curator and also celebrating his birthday. It's number 69 for Clyde. So happy birthday and happy anniversary.
2 strikes. Driven to deep left center field. Willingham back, playing the bounce to 3rd. It's De Aza. He'll be held there. And Alexei Ramirez has hit the ball hard 3 times against Pedro Hernandez here tonight.
Well, we've shown Ramirez before. He's a young man that stands right on top of the plate and has tremendous bat speed. Ball down, and Ramirez almost goes down and hits this ball sharply. So a double for Ramirez, his second hit on his 8th double of the year.
So now Rios, who drove in a run with a double, he pulled the ball and hit a one-hopper against the left field fence. Twins are up by 3, but the White Sox threatening, and the Twins have fresh in their memory what happened here Friday night against the Orioles. And from the middle innings on, the Orioles stuck it to the Twins and came back from a 6-run deficit. Rios takes off the plate, ball 1.
Remember Rios' last at bat, he got ahead in the count, and then Mauer wanted to pump that fastball away. He missed with 3, then left a couple inside. Rios hit foul, finally grounded out on a pitch away. But he's falling behind here, 2-0.
Sailing along, pitching from the windup. He seems to have had a lot of trouble pitching from the stretch here tonight. Rios driving his 19th run in the first inning. Sharply to Dozier. The run will score. There's an out. Piazza scoring. Ramirez to third. Another well-hit ball. 1 away.
Kind of twofold right there. Gets the RBI, but also advances both runners. Piazza scores, Ramirez over to third.
We have a pitching change here. Ron Gardenhire to the mound, and Hernandez is able to get the ball, take the ball into the 6th inning. Get interactive with us during the broadcast. Our AT&T Twitter poll. We start a new question tonight. Who's the best young arm in baseball today? Tweet your answer using the following hashtags. Hashtag Matt Harvey, Shelby Miller, Chris Sale, Patrick Corbin, Matt Moore. We'll keep the poll running all week and give you the final results after Sunday's game against the Red Sox. Hernandez comes off the mound with a chance for his 2nd major league win against the White Sox.
Then settled down. He'd retired 10 straight before coming out for the 6th inning and giving up a couple hits and then an RBI single. RBI to Rios. But all in all, pretty good outing. 5 1/3 innings. And now it's the bullpen that has to pitch the rest of the way. They'd like to pitch, through the 6th inning. But Josh Renicky coming out, making his 13th relief appearance. He's coming off an outing he wants to forget. As you look at the numbers of Hernandez, 84 pitches, 54 strikes, no walks, 4 strikeouts.
Infield back for Diane Viciedo. Runner at third, one away. Yeah, rough outing against the Orioles after he had a great outing in Baltimore against the Orioles. Viciedo with a sacrifice fly and a strikeout. And now Mauer will go to the mound. Fourth game of this homestand, and only once has a Twin starting pitcher completed 6 innings. That was Mike Pelfrey on Friday night. And Vance Worley, Scott Diamond, and now Pedro Hernandez unable to pitch through the 6th inning.
And that's one thing that has to bother Rick Anderson, you know, Ron Gardenhire, the staff in general. These starters have to go deeper. They have to find a way to get into the 7th inning rather than here in the 6th inning get taken out. That bullpen is a good bullpen for the Twins, but they're going to get worn out by July. I used to say August. Now it's July.
How about Memorial Day?
Yeah.
1-1 with Renicky coming in high and hard around the hands of Viciedo. Fouled back and now 1-2. Viciedo again struck out in the 4th. Renicky would love to get him here and go after Dunn. And he hopes to leave Ramirez at third base this inning. Renicky with 11 strikeouts, 16 in the 3rd innings. Up high, and Viciedo wouldn't chase. Breaking ball got him looking.
Yeah, throws him right there. Good curveball. Renicky comes in, picks up a big strikeout. It's almost like he saved that pitch for the right time. Viciedo kind of froze right here. And the ball right there, maybe a little high, says Fox Tracks, but good pitch, big strikeout.
And now Dunn fouled out to left in the 4th, struck out swinging in the 1st. Down low, ball 1. One of Dunn's 6 home runs came against the Twins in Chicago. It has been a nightmarish start to his 3rd year with the White Sox. On the outside corner. Now Dunn, as you said, has always been a high strikeout guy, but he was able to balance a lot of those strikeouts out with walks. The difference this year is he's not walking.
Right.
46 strikeouts, only 13 walks. Driven to deep center. That ball is tattooed. Hicks to the wall. Legs.
Did he catch it?
He caught it! Unbelievable! Aaron Hicks with a phenomenal catch in center field, keeping the game 5-3 Twins. He is having a night. Oswaldo Arcia leading off the sixth with the fans still buzzing about what they just saw from Aaron Hicks. And Arcia taps it foul, 0-2.
And how many times does a guy make a great catch like that, and he's going to hit second this inning? Unbelievable. What a great catch by Aaron Hicks.
Well, it's just nice to see the young man smile. To do it, one thing, but to do it at home where the pressure has mounted, of course, for this young man. Just off the plate, 1-2. Arcia, Hicks, and Florimon. And you hope that Hicks gets a base hit so Adam Dunn can beat him to a pulp at first base. Let's take another look at this catch that was hit about 2 feet shorter than the home run, Hicks, to the same spot.
Look, he kind of looked down to see where he was, and then he timed his leap perfectly. Watch right here. He kind of, okay, where am I? How many more steps? And then leaps and comes down with the ball. What a great catch. You know what's going to make this better? If he gets a hit right here, so he'll have a multi-hit game.
Right. Just make sure it's a double. I wouldn't want to be standing next to Adam Dunn right now. A deep fly to left center field. This ball's up. It is back. Have a night, young man.
I saw Aaron Hicks before the game in the dugout. I said to him, hey, just have fun. Just have fun. I think he's having fun tonight. Look at the smile.
No RSVP required. You've all been invited to Aaron Hicks' coming out party.
We hope so. What a night for Aaron Hicks.
Foul pop, Dunn gathers it in, and the fans want Hicks to come out for a curtain call.
Very nice.
What I'd like is for a reporter after the game to go up and ask him how his hyperextended elbow is feeling. 2 down in the sixth, and a pitching change. Twins in front, 6-3. Thanks across the board to Aaron Hicks. To be there. What a night for Aaron Hicks.
He jumped on that first pitch from Santiago, his second home run against Santiago. And what a feeling here tonight for Aaron Hicks. Not only the 2 home runs, robbing Adam Dunn of the home run. Twins have a 6-3 lead. Matt Lindstrom coming in to replace Santiago, making his 18th relief appearance.
Dozier takes a fastball over the inside corner.
Lindstrom in his first season with the White Sox, last year with the Orioles and the Diamondbacks. Lindstrom with a good fastball. That last pitch, the hard slider.
And Dozier strikes out. The story tonight, the middle innings, if not the entire game, owned by rookie Aaron Hicks. Right now, you can get 20 crispy chicken McNuggets for just $4.99 at McDonald's. And by Toyota. Let's go places. To find the nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. A memorable night for Aaron Hicks. Turns out his first multi-hit game was a multi-home run game. And he didn't have to stop at first base and be subjected to Adam Dunn's wrath for taking a home run away from Dunn a few moments before. Fouled back. 36 minutes and 58 seconds for Aaron Hicks. The most impactful half hour or so of his major league career, and it all happened on 3 remarkable plays. 1-1. And a ball sliced foul, 1-2. Keppinger, Wells, and Flowers, and the Twins want to keep this right where it's at right now at 6-3. Renicky got the last 2 outs of the 6th inning. Needed a little help from his center field. Breaking ball. Another strikeout on the curve. That's the pitch he used to strike out VC8, 0-1 down.
Yeah, Keppinger, we talked about it before. He doesn't strike out that often, and it's the breaking ball that Keppinger takes and backs away from. So Renicky picking up his 2nd strikeout in relief.
Here's Casper Wells, robbed of a play, or robbed of a hit. Nice play by Trevor Plouffe at 2nd. Looked like Wells had cracked a double down the left field line. Up high, ball 1. And a strike.
Renicky, 30 years old in his first season with the Twins. Claimed off waivers by the Twins from the Colorado Rockies over the winter.
Strike called on the check swing. Wells doesn't believe it. To center. Routine for Hicks tonight. 2 down. Flowers will hit, but first a reminder that MLB.com At Bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Twins baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit twinsbaseball.com for details. Here's Flowers, a single and a ground out to second. Down and away with a fastball. And a hard roller up the middle, a base hit with 2 gone in the 7th.
Flowers picks up his second hit of the ball game. Comes with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
Now Tyler Green.
Second baseman Tyler Green.
Green bounced into a double play in the 2nd and struck out swinging in the 5th. Swing and a miss at the breaking pitch. Quicker breaking ball.
Green went to spring training this year with the Houston Astros. He was released by the Astros, picked up by the White Sox, started the season in AAA for the White Sox, and then when Beckham went down, he got called up on April 14th.
It's another check swing strike. 2 of them now. Listening to an interview with the vice president of baseball operations for the White Sox, Kenny Williams, their former general manager, listening on the radio this morning, and he said, you know, the White Sox are just trying to tread water here until they can get some, they feel, key players back. Beckham, one of them. John Danks, another.
And a healthy Paul Konerko when he starts swinging the bat well.
I can't imagine there's too much concern about Konerko. He's just been so good for so long, but you know, the White Sox had to endure Adam Dunn's first season with them in 2011, and looks like this year might be a repeat. That kicks away from Mauer, but advancing to second is Flowers.
Yeah, good read by Flowers right there. As soon as that ball caromed to Mauer's right, Flowers took off. It'll be a wild pitch charged to Renicky. Breaking ball. Joe tried to smother it. Ends up getting away, and Flowers gets in a scoring position. Ryan Dunsing starting to loosen up.
Puts an end to the 7th inning. A hit does no damage. Renicky gets the job done. And the Twins continue to lead by 3.
hitting his second Major League home run, his first year at Target Field, straightaway center, and then robbing a home run from Adam Dunn. So what's he do in the bottom of the inning? Jumps on the first pitch again off of Hector Santiago and hits it into the Twins bullpen. Quite a night for Aaron Hicks. And a curtain call at that.
I like the dramatic effect. I didn't know that he had caught that ball. Did you know that?
No, that's why I said, did he catch it?
That was a nice touch.
I think the fans out there saw it before we did, and they started cheering.
I heard a roar.
And I didn't think they were Adam Dunn fans.
Brian Omogrosso will come out of the Chicago pen to pitch to the Twins in the seventh, specifically Mauer, Willingham, and Morneau.
Yeah, Omogrosso just making his second appearance on the year, just getting called up on May 1st from AAA in his second season with the White Sox.
So in case you're wondering, Hicks would hit seventh this inning. And the Twins need to get a base runner to get him up at least one more time before we go to the top of the ninth. Inside, and it's 1-0 to Mauer. Mauer a single, a walk, and a strikeout.
Omogrosso fastball, slider is his best pitch. Occasional curveball and a changeup.
Tigers beat the Astros 7-2. Astros now 10-29.
Yeah, they're not enjoying the American League. But then again, the last couple of years, they didn't enjoy the National League either.
Three 3-0 to Mauer. Willingham and Morneau to follow. And Mauer draws his second walk, the 4-pitch walk. And let's go to Jamie Hirsch.
Well, Dick and Bert, you mentioned it. What a night for Aaron Hicks, and it's creating quite the buzz on social media. Home run, great catch, and another home run. He's the subject of tonight's tweet talk, so get involved using the hashtag HicksHighlights. He's got quite a few of them so far. We'll share our favorites later in the broadcast. Have a night, Mr. Hicks.
And it's so nice for Hicks to have a night like this at home. Young player trying to make the jump from Double-A, and whatever pressure is mounting really mounts at home. You want to do so well in front of the hometown fans.
Well, our first multi-hit game too, and we saw him smile. You know, that's a big key right there. Just relax, have fun, let your ability hopefully come out, and well, some of it did tonight.
2 strikes to Willingham with Mauer at first. Willingham struggles continue, 1 away. First time he struck out in the ball game, but another 0 for 4.
Yeah, the breaking ball right there, kind of pulling out a little bit and striking out. Omogrosso picks up a strikeout.
Again, Morneau's hitting streak just 9 games, but it's seen his batting average go up 51 points. Inside, ball 1. Jared Burton warming up. Burton warming up, presumably for the 8th inning, is the strongest indication we've had yet that Glenn Perkins is just fine. Perkins held out of action for a couple of days, tweaked his left side a little bit, but that Perkins is warming up, or excuse me, that Burton is warming up, preparing to go into the 8th inning, would suggest Perkins would get the 9th. 2-1.
Bobby Cuellar right behind Burton there, the bullpen coach.
Two and 1, and a changeup, evening the count at 2-2. laced on the right field line. Mauer around second to third. Morneau around first to second. And Morneau has his second hit. Mauer had to wait to break for second because that line drive came right in front of you.
Olmogrosso left a curveball up, and Justin, even though it looked like the lower part committed, he kept those hands back nicely. And then lined that ball past Dunn down into that right field corner. Well, I guess, you know, even though the lower part sometimes goes too quick, you keep those hands back and then utilize those strong hands. Morneau with his 9th double of the year puts runners at second and third with one out.
Infield in for Doumit, and he takes inside ball one. Bounce to the right side. Dunn stumbles. Mauer can't go. And Doumit's retired at first. Mauer wasn't sure what to do. He never did take off. Dunn looked like he was going to do a Ben Revere somersault between first and second.
Oh, that one I wouldn't like to have seen. What a nice play by Dunn right there. He wasn't playing in on the grass. He was back a bit. He had to play that little short hop and then kind of spin, and he fell. But Olmogrosso getting over there and beating Doumit to the bag for the second out.
And now Plouffe. Big 2-run double for Plouffe in the third inning to give the Twins their first lead. So with 2 out, infield back. And the dirt, ball one. Two and 0.
Plouffe had that big 2-run double in the 4-run third inning for the Twins.
To right center field. Rios is there to make the catch. Twins threaten, don't score. They still lead by 3.
Six to 3 after 7. Earlier today, the Twins announced they will turn back the clock in a couple of weeks in their series finale against the Brewers. The Twins will wear these throwback uniforms to remember the 1948 St. Paul Saints. the Brewers will play in the 1948 throwbacks for their team. The first 20,000 fans here at Target Field will get a St. Paul Saints pennant, and the Twins will honor several former Saints players and the rich baseball heritage of the Twin Cities. A reminder, the Turn Back the Clock night is Thursday, May 30th. Dick and Bert?
That'll be fun. And Joe Mauer, as he's getting ready for batting practice, made reference to the jersey. Pretty proud to put on that St. Paul jersey, the St. Paul native. Pretty excited about putting on that jersey.
Sure, Glenn Perkins was too.
Yeah.
Well, Jared Burton coming in, hopefully to get through the 8th inning. He last worked on Saturday, picked up the save in the 8-5 win over the Baltimore Orioles. One shutout inning, had a strikeout, making his 18th relief appearance.
Be the top of the Chicago batting order: De Aza, Ramirez, and Rios. Those three batters collected 5 of the 6 hits allowed by Pedro Hernandez. One and one. De Aza singled and scored in the first, singled and scored in the 6th. In the 3rd inning, Hernandez struck him out. To right, and the 3rd hit for De Aza. Leadoff man is on here in the 8th. Burton picking up the save the other day, and for the first time since his shoulder surgery, pitched on 3 straight days. Now, he got yesterday off and is hoping to have a uneventful 8th inning here. Ramirez with a single, a line out, and a very loud double to left center field. One hop the fence in deep left center.
Yeah, you mentioned it. He had 3 very good at-bats against Hernandez.
Up the middle, and it hits the bag and skips into center field. A base hit. And just like that, the White Sox get Rios to the plate, representing the tying run.
Ramirez picks up his 3rd hit, jumping on that first fastball right back up the middle. You're hoping it would hit the bag and stay there, pop straight up, and it popped into center field.
De Aza and Ramirez do their jobs. They're aboard now for the power in the Chicago lineup, starting with Rios. 8 home runs. Viciedo has some pop. And of course, Adam Dunn has 6. Thought he had 7 home runs with his 6th inning fly ball to deep center. Strike 1. Rios with 2 runs batted in. A ground ball to Dozier in the 6th made it 5-3. But then Renicky came in to get Viciedo and Dunn.
Well, you think double play, you think maybe a strikeout. Burton comes into this outing, 18 strikeouts in 16 innings pitched. And he gets ahead of Rios.
Grounded into 3 double plays. The White Sox have only hit into 20 with the one that Tyler Green hit into earlier tonight. Burton with that inside move and a look back at De Aza.
A lot of his strikeouts come on that changeup.
It looked like the slider.
Well, not a bad location right there. Rios goes after that. That might have been a ground ball, but instead, still 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Struck him out with a fastball. 1 away.
Big strikeout right there. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Burton able to get a strikeout. You know, rumors go around that says, you know, look for his changeup when he gets ahead. Maybe, you know, and all of a sudden there's a 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
So one down Viciedo. It's kind of an odd mix, isn't it, for Burton? I mean, we just saw 93 on the screen, his fastball. Changeup is actually faster than his breaking pitch. Usually it's the other way around. You know, Burton's changeup is 87, 88 sometimes. And then we saw a slider, I think it was a slider, 84, 85. Viciedo, 0 for 3, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly and a pair of strikeouts. Just outside, ball one. One and 0. Pop up. Short center. Hicks coming in. That's out number 2. Well, Adam Dunn thought he had tied the game in the 6th. I thought he had tied the game in the 6th. And now he gets another chance to do it in the 8th.
Aaron Hicks robbed him of a home run. Go back to the 6th inning with a runner at third base. Adam Dunn straightaway center. Hicks leaps and times his leap perfectly and comes back with the ball. Josh Renicky saying, wow, thank you.
Then 2 at-bats later, he teed off on the first pitch and clubbed another home run into the bullpen. Here's Dunn. Inside, ball one. Dunn officially 0 for 3. The assumed strikeout in the first inning, a foul out in the 4th, and then a near home run in the 6th. Down low, 2-0. Brian Dozier looking over his left shoulder to say something to Arcia, and he only has to whisper because Dozier is so far out in right field. Arcia can hear the whisper.
Even though he's hitting 133, this guy is still dangerous at the plate. You make a bad pitch, he can hit it a long way.
2-0. Changeup taken for ball 3. Keppinger on deck. Remembering that Paul Konerko is available off the bench.
And you know that Dunn has the green light right here.
A 4-pitch walk puts Dunn aboard and fills the bases for Keppinger, who's being called back to the dugout. You saw Konerko with the warm-up on. And it's going to be Gillespie.
Connor Gillespie pinch hitting.
So Gillespie, a left-handed batter, will hit.
Gillespie hitting .278. He's been in 32 ball games. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Gillespie in his first season with the White Sox. Last 3 seasons with the Giants.
Gillespie 0 for 1. White Sox as a team 1 for 10 in pinch hitting this year. Bouncer right side. Morneau has it. Burton to the bag, inning over. The White Sox leave him full in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th. Aaron Hicks will hit second. He's got a chance to hit his 3rd home run. Hashtag Hicks highlights. Maybe he'll add another one.
Because we have plenty of positive things from this game to talk about on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll show you a couple new highlights for Aaron Hicks to add to his highlight reel. We'll also talk about Pedro Hernandez settling down in this game to keep the White Sox limited to their runs. And also we'll hear from Ron Gardenhire on a big night for his team and rookie Aaron Hicks after the game on Twins Live.
Thank you, Jamie. Duante Heath coming into the ballgame for Chicago to pitch to Arcia, Hicks, and Florimon.
Yeah, Heath just making his 4th relief appearance, his 2nd stint with the White Sox this year. Came up a little bit last year also.
Delayed strike call by Manny Gonzalez. 1 strike to Arcia, who struck out twice and hit a comebacker to the mound. Two strikes. When Hicks hits, he'll hit for the first time tonight from the left side of the plate. Fouled back. See, it got a pitch up, fouled it to the screen. CenturyLink to what's next. Aaron Hicks with a chance for a 3rd hit, perhaps even a 3rd home run.
We are already robbed a home run, so he should be going for his 4th.
That's true. Will pop up short center. It'll be a long run for Diaza. And it's Ramirez giving way, and the ball drops. So it'll be a bloop double for Arcia. Diaza was playing back near the warning track. Ramirez gave up on it, then tried to recover.
It was Ramirez right there. He kind of looked at Diaza like right off the get-go. That's a ball that he's got to run back and tell you he hears something. If you could watch Ramirez right there, he kind of slowed down, and then he had to backpedal. And then maybe Diaza said something at the last second, and that pulled Ramirez away, and the ball fell in. So, hey, if I'm Arcia, I'll take that gift double. These are the little things that have created a frustrating season so far for Robin Ventura and the White Sox. That ball has to be caught.
Well, let's see if Mr. Hicks has anything else to bring to the table tonight. Up and away, ball 1.
Well, that's been one problem for Heath. You look at his minor league numbers, he throws a lot of pitches in a short amount of time, a lot of walks. Almost 300 walks in 600 minor league innings.
Morneau, the last Twin to hit 3 in a game. He did it in Chicago against the White Sox. Checked his swing, took a strike. Inside 3-1. Hicks did hit 3 home runs in a game in spring training, but it was on a windy day in Clearwater, Florida.
And those don't show up on the back of your bubblegum card.
But it caught everyone's attention in spring training, the fans' attention. They were wondering about this guy. They'd heard about him. But you do something like that even in a spring training game, and it's bound to get you some attention.
Third base umpire Wally Bell kind of saying something to Heath on the mound. Maybe going to his mouth and not wiping it off.
walk, and Hicks will fill first base. It might be that the only center fielder that could have caught his home run, the first one, was the guy who hit it, Aaron Hicks himself. Home run is on the left. His catch is on the right.
Yeah, that's Diaza going after the ball.
Over the third panel. And that's exactly where Adam Dunn hit his ball that Hicks brought back into the park.
Well, the difference is with Adam Dunn, you play a little bit deeper anyway, and right there you saw Diaza. He had to go a long way and kind of gave up on it because it did go over the fence.
Florimon with a key hit and a key defensive play in the game. Looked like the game was going to spin out of control in the first inning. Florimon made a nice play to keep it 2-0. And then started the third inning with a double when the Twins scored 4 times.
Bunts here. Showing bunt. Pulled the bat back for ball 1. Joe Vavra, the third base coach, going through the signs. Florimon taking a look. White Sox looking for the bunt with Adam Dunn in and Gillespie in at third.
2-0. Vavra, the third base coach.
And you see the history of Heath already at the major league level. 5 walks in 4 2/3 innings coming into this outing. And he walked Aaron Hicks. Nobody out.
Good bunt. Safe. Beat it out.
Heath a little slow getting to that ball, not really turning around and getting ready to make a quick throw with Florimon's speed. This is just a sacrifice bunt halfway between the mound and home plate. You're giving yourself up, but you hustle down that line, and Heath picked it up, hesitated, too late. So Florimon doesn't get a sacrifice. He gets an infield hit. Even better.
Now they're loaded up for Brian Dozier. Infield in. And everything that's happened here, not that the Twins have scored a run yet, but everything that's happened here has happened because Alexei Ramirez didn't track the Arcia pop-up. Check swing dribbler. There's a force play at home. And a double play. Dozier, he won a swing and he ended up grounding into a double play.
Yeah, Adam Dunn comes in and makes the throw, a good throw to Flowers at home, who tags home plate for the force out, and then the relay throw getting the double play. You see kind of a check swing, Dunn coming in, good feed to Flowers, and then it's Green covering the bag.
3-2-4, and now Mauer will be walked, and that'll bring Willingham up for the second time tonight with the bases loaded. For Mauer, his third walk of the day. Mauer's on base percentage is going to spike up. Led the major leagues in on base percentage last year. Started the night in 6th place, but his on base percentage going up significantly with a single and 3 walks. So Willingham with another RBI chance. He's 0 for 4 in the ball game, and everybody else has at least 1 hit.
Well, you can see, Justin Morneau having a couple hits. Trevor Plouffe, even though he's 1 for 4, that was a big 2-run double in that third inning that put the Twins up 4-2. Then Hicks, of course, the 2 home runs.
Willingham has said there's no physical reason why. It's just a not hitting. 5 times he has clubbed a home run in these situations. Up and away, ball 1. Willingham came up in this spot in the third inning and hit a fly ball to very short right field.
See if they can square up a fastball right here.
Laced to the left field corner, but hooking foul.
They squared up with it, but a little bit out front.
Willingham never left the batter's box. He knew it was going to hook foul as soon as he touched it off. Perkins, unless the Twins score another run here, and then Fein, you would think would get the ninth inning. It would not be a save situation if the Twins add one or more runs. One and one to Willingham. And now a high foul fly back into the seats, 1-2. Bases full of Twins. Had a great chance to score in the seventh, but did not. 1-2 to Willingham. Breaking ball left up high. 2-2. Pop straight back and over our heads.
A lot of things over our heads.
Two and two. Close, but ball three.
I think what we've seen from Heath so far, he's not going to throw a breaking ball here. If he could throw a breaking ball over, he may lock up Willingham, but I don't think he has that breaking ball to do it. Fastball away, just missing. I'm Willingham. I'm sitting on a fastball and hopefully hit it hard somewhere.
Takes ball four, and the Twins get another run.
That's a good at bat right there. Didn't go out of his zone to try to do something a little extra. And Willingham will pick up an RBI with the bases loaded walk. His 16th RBI of the year.
Don Cooper to the mound. Justin Morneau with a chance for the official knockout punch here.
Third, 3 walks by Heath, 1 intentional.
It's kind of what the Orioles did in the extra inning win on Friday. They scored 3 runs, 3 critical runs, and they just took advantage of the chances they had. Here's a pop fly double, a walk, a bunt single. Here's Morneau. A pair of walks, and suddenly the Twins get that all-important extra run in the 9th or 8th inning.
Yeah, you can see Perkins sat down. Now Casey Fein, Gumby. We should call him Gumby. He's so flexible out there almost every night.
Driven to the gap. This may clear the bases. One of Morneau's patented 3-run doubles.
Well, again, I think you're sitting on the bench watching Heath pitch, and you say, well, he's not getting any breaking ball over. We're going to sit on the fastball. Fell behind to Justin. Justin sat on the fastball, and boy, did he turn on it.
Morneau with a single, a pair of doubles, 3 hits tonight, 3 runs batted in, a 4-run inning, a 7-run lead. And here's Domit. That's the breaking ball you were talking about right there. It just kind of spun out of his hand, and he didn't dare throw it on 3-2 to Willingham.
Right.
Inside 2-0. The only batter that Heath has retired was Dozier, who checked his swing and accidentally bounced into a double play. Deep to center. Piazza retreats to end the inning. A good eighth as the Twins have their second 4-run inning tonight. A 10-3 Twins lead. Time now to give you an updated look at our AT&T Twitter poll. We started a new question tonight. Who's the best young arm in baseball today? We'll keep the question running throughout the week and have final results for you on Sunday against the Red Sox. Surprised Matt Harvey didn't get more votes given what he did against the Twins. He's the only one up there that the Twins have faced this year.
A lot of Ray fans out there. That's why. A lot of
in our
Tampa Bay Rays.
In our viewing audience.
Right,
Apparently
right.
not in the St. Petersburg viewing audience.
Well, Casey Fiend coming in, making his 18th relief appearance. He worked a couple times in that Baltimore series over the weekend.
Up and in, ball one. 3 outs separating Pedro Hernandez from his second major league win. One and one. Now, before we move on to other things and into the postgame show, whatever we discuss there, how would you evaluate Hernandez here tonight?
I thought he made the adjustment very well. He did struggle right off the get-go. 3 straight hits he gave up. But after that, he worked out of the first inning, got the nice play by Florimon. And then to start the second inning, the nice play by Plouffe that he went backhanded to play the ball. And then after that, one time he retired 10 straight.
And an 0-2 pitch hammered to left. Casper Wells with a base hit leading off the ninth.
I'd like to see the starters go deeper, but, because of so many pitches in that first inning, 33 by Hernandez, that kind of, hurt him a little bit.
Kind of, let's see, how can I phrase this? we're seeing a lot of what we saw the last 2 years, though, were a lot of early runs given up by starting pitchers. You know, Worley's had that problem. Hernandez has had that problem.
The last 3 games, the last 2 against Baltimore, all the last 3 games, you know, the starting staff has allowed crooked numbers in that first inning. It's not 1 run, it's 2, 3.
It's got to stop.
Yeah.
Flowers, the batter. 1-1. You know what happened last year, and this is a different year, and I think it's visible to our viewers that the personality of this team is different than it was a year ago. You can come up with your own reasons as to why that might be. But eventually what happened last year was that the lineup, that it started impacting the at-bats of the hitters because they felt like they were behind every time they came to the plate.
They were behind the 8 ball almost every game.
And that's eventually going to
wear you down.
Take its toll on the lineup, absolutely. Flowers is gone. Fiend with a strikeout, 1 down.
Yeah, good hard breaking ball there. That ball just kept running away from Flowers, and Fiend picks up a strikeout.
Tyler Green will hit next.
Well, it'll be a good pitching matchup tomorrow. You see Kevin Correa right there against Jake Peavy. Both those guys have been pitching well.
And then Mike Pelfrey and Dylan Axelrod going on the day game here on Wednesday. Try going. By the way, on most of your pocket schedules, what have you, Wednesday's game is not scheduled to be on television, but we have added that to our telecast schedule. So Wednesday, even though your schedule says otherwise, there's a bunt. And Fiend throws him out.
See, what Fiend did right there, what Heath did not do, is when he got to that ball, he was ready to spin and turn and made a strong throw to get Green.
You okay with that? Down by 7 runs?
No, not at all. But look at Fiend right there. Picks it up, bare hands it, and threw the ball. If I remember right, Heath picked it up with his glove and then hesitated. A nice play by Casey Fiend.
2 down, De Aza, the batter. 3 hits, 2 runs scored.
Well, I am and I'm not. I mean, they're down. They need base runners. You know, you never quit until that last out. And Green trying to get on base.
That's just an odd time to do it when you're down by 7 runs.
Yeah.
1 strike. And an excuse me 1 hopper to Dozier, and the Twins win the opener against the White Sox. They pitch well enough to win. The guy out in center field simply put on a show tonight.
Yeah. Aaron Hicks, quite a night at the plate. Quite a night defensively. Just an all-around good game for the Twins. Good adjustment by Hernandez. He picks up his 2nd win. Good Twins win.
Well, Tom Hanneman, the Twins have been waiting for Aaron Hicks to have a game like this, hoping that something like this will help him relax. I suspect he's going to be quite an excited young man tonight.
You're absolutely right, Dick. A night to remember for Twins fans and their rookie center fielder. The Twins, with a 10-3 win in the opener against the White Sox, will break it all down in Twins Live, and it comes up next.